I showed you all about Shore Bank, the really good local bank, the leading faith-based lender. From Chicago, this bank got a $140 million bailout by other financial institutions. You know who put them over the top? GE. Oh, that's great. It's weird that all other banks are evil, blamed for our current economic troubles, predatory lending. But Shore Bank, oh no, they're a good bank. They're a good bank. They must be saved. I'm sure it has nothing to do with, you know, it's, the bank's mission is to create economic equity. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that Shore Bank executive was Hillary Clinton's roommate back in college, or that the Progressive Joyce Foundation is one of the big shareholders. Yeah. Or the fact that it's all the same Crime Inc. players. One of the biggest players is Joel Rogers. Does he have been up on the board? Joel Rogers, he's fantastic. Here he is. Yeah, see, he's over in Crime Inc. And then there's Efficiency Cities Network, led by Joel Rogers again, and his group COWS. Van Jones is in that one, too. Now, here's how this is how this all works, okay? You have the bank making an efficiency fund. Let's say I'm a town of Glenville, okay? I'm a little town or a college, Glenville College. Here's how the efficiency model works. Through the Energy Efficiency Fund, which is funded right here, this is the fund, big pile of money, Shore Bank right there. It's funded by private investors. We don't know who these people are. We have no idea. Can't get anything on these people. It's weird. Then you have the carbon market. Okay, that's the Joyce Foundation and also Goldman Sachs and Al Gore. It's great. Now, it's great. If this is not a college, but it's your town, you're also paying in money. Yeah, the city right here, putting in money there, your tax dollars. Now, the Efficiency Cities Network, Joel Rogers, is offering to do all of the work themselves for you, because they love you. They just want to green your city. They're going to pick the contractors because you're busy. They'll assign energy advocates on retrofitting process to begin the full service delivery. And in return, the city agrees to a shared energy savings agreement. Oh, that's big of you. Yeah, Glenville. They give the tax dollars, and then they also get money back because they're saving money. Now, this is a way they're going to split the returns. So, in other words, you know, the city and the private investors, they're also getting some of the tax credits as well. But if I can explain this like you're struggling with bills. Someone shows up and says, you know what? I'm going to reduce your energy costs by 20%. Really? I'm broke. That's great. What do I have to do? Well, you don't have to do anything except agree. You agree to pay me all the money I'm going to save you. That's great. Now, wait a minute. How much money you're going to save me? Oh, tons. And you just pay a fraction of that. So you're making money because you're going to be saving energy. Yeah. Wow. And, do I have to go out and buy the solar panels? No. Really? No, you don't have to do that. Well, I'm going to have to install them. No, we'll do it. You don't. You just sit here on your couch and rake in the money. That's when my grandfather would have said, you can't BS a BSer. This is not possible. What you don't know is that the same group that grabbed your tax money, got the solar panels, now coming to you saying, check it out. But will there be any savings in the first place? Let me play the president. Will there going to be any savings?
Under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
Up next, my guest helps make some sense of all of this. He's going to help us tie all of it together. We'll be right back. I brought David Buckner in because he's an adjunct professor at Columbia University, president of Bottom Line Training and Consulting, and can help make sense of this. Walk us through this so I can understand.
This is kind of a fabricated private equity placement.
Okay.
You bring in investors, you have the government, you have the city. They all funnel money into it. Okay.
Okay.
In the end, though, all of the criteria for the fund set by the government. all of the results, the money that comes back, you may get some money back here, but the money that goes into the city, it is used for workforce development, and the criteria set, again, by the government.
So hang on. Energy Efficiency Fund, this box here.
Big box, biggest pool of money.
This is, and that's Shore Bank.
That's
managed by Shore Bank.
That's managed by Shore Bank.
Okay, that's the bank that everybody is just saved.
It's a bucket.
Okay, so now the
all
money.
The criteria for that is set by the government.
Okay, that's actually just tax cuts or tax credits.
Tax credits, stimulus.
Stimulus money. Once that money goes away, is this sustainable?
No, you can't sustain it because the money's not coming in.
Okay.
They're hoping, the dialogue is they're hoping that private investors will flood this because they can find it viable.
No.
But if it's not viable before, it's probably not viable after.
Right. Okay. So the money goes to the city, but the return goes to the city, but that goes up to the contractors.
You actually have return here. Little bits of return here goes up to the contractors in the form of workforce development.
Tell me about that.
Well, the criteria is that they're going to be taking people who are, there's a criteria of homeless, those that are less advantaged, even those that have been incarcerated, where discrimination for employment may have been in the past.
Historically disadvantaged or underrepresented people, homeless, lacking a GED, and having a criminal record.
Yeah,
this is exactly what Van Jones said he was going to do.
That's what they'll fund to assure that they get jobs.
And that's a union.
That will go into the contractors underneath the umbrella of union support. Because the union's going to bring them in and educate them. I'm not sure how
they will. This is Venezuela. I mean, this is what Venezuela does. What Venezuela does, he's more direct, is he pays off the poor, and the poor is his little army. That's his army that keeps Venezuela.
This is not a true business model.
Right.
This is a fascinating model which is akin to some of the movements of Enron when they started moving things. This here is not sustainable on its own. It is being created under the guise of private equity, under the purpose of energy efficiency. Great words to use, but in the end, not a viable model.
Tell me about the host college.
These, up here, as they receive this, the energy is owned and delivered to the college, to an entity, okay? But they own it. So if they can't pay, and by the way, most of them don't have to qualify. The purpose of it is to assure that you don't discriminate based upon ability to pay. That's kind of like the asset-backed security. This is like
you don't need a proof
to be able to buy a home.
Right.
This is what we experienced with subprime. So these could be subprime borrowers. In other words, subprime buyers of energy. So if they're subprime buyers,
so not only will they control the money, they'll control the unions. But this box in the center, this Shore Bank, also controls energy. They can shut you off.
They can shut you off if it's not financially viable. They're going to determine how much you get. And they're going to determine how much needs to be shut off. Even if they don't control the bigger picture, they can't. It's not a viable model. It doesn't work.
I don't see a problem with any of this. And I wonder why Shore Bank it looks like an awful lot of money going to be funneled through.
It will show like it works for a season.
Yeah. Final thoughts next. Like I said at the top of the show, we've come a long way since exposing Crime Inc., but I feel, well, I know we have. We've only just begun to scratch the surface. There is so much here. Nobody in the media is going to do the job. That's why we continue to need your help. Unravel all of this tangled web. Search it. Look for the information on the internet. Search. Please help. Keep sending in your tips to becktips@foxnews.com. From New York, good night, America.